Alright, so we are back. It's been a minute because I've had to wait for parts to come in and to be free to actually record this damn thing. But we are back. This is another ThinkPad. This is actually a ThinkPad T43. So this is one of the classics that has been floating around. I actually have a couple of these that I need to refurbish. So again, this is an older laptop that was given to me by someone who I did a service for, helped them set up a TV, you know, if you watched the last video. So this one is in about the same shape as the previous one. There's a lot of just stuff and dust on top of it, a couple of abrasions and scratches, but overall seems functionally or at least structurally together, and from the minor testing that I have done so far to this thing, it seems to be completely functional. Yes, I have done testing because I figured that in this video it might be a little bit easier if I decide to order the parts ahead of time to make the flow a little bit easier. So what I've done is order a couple of parts in advance, mainly the CPU, some extra RAM, and any other parts that I need, mainly the storage, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
Now, this thing takes, or actually has, an IDE hard drive in here. So let me pull out my my thing. I know this because I did some research on it before. Now, safe to say I don't want to use this hard drive, because A, it's fucking old, and B, I don't actually have the charger for this. I thought this was the right charger. I guess not. We are. Okay, alright. I guess that one works. Okay. So, anyway, I don't want to use the IDE hard drive for a couple of reasons. Number one, being that it's very old. And number two, it's actually probably quite bad. Okay, so the CMOS is dead. That's good to know. So it thinks it's 2006. Alright, so definitely needs a new CMOS. As 100%. CMOS is dead. Okay. Let's start Windows normally and see what's on here. It is Windows XP, okay. And we're in. That's pretty cool that we're actually into Windows XP. I'm assuming both of these actually have passwords. They do. That one doesn't. Okay, ooh. That's nice. Really gets you right in the bones. Well, at least it boots, so the drive is good. But again, I don't care, and the person who I actually got this from requested that the drives be completely and utterly wiped. So, as a result, we're going to wipe it with Shred OS. So,
approximately 10 hours later.
Okay, I'm actually dumb. I just realized that this is a 32-bit processor, and Shred OS is a 64-bit version. Okay. So as a result, I'm going to have to go back and actually make a new image of Shred OS as a 32-bit bootable. So I will be right back once we get to this. Okay, so I was able to get it to boot. Apparently it didn't like that USB drive I used, even though that was USB 2 and this one was USB 3. But hey, whatever. And when I tried to boot Shred OS, it was a 32-bit version, and it ran out of memory. So, yeah, that sucks. This thing only has, like, 256 megs, so I did buy some RAM. I bought 1 gigabyte of memory, so I'll put this one in the optional slot here, and then I'll also put one in the standard slot later. But I'm hoping that this will give me enough headroom to actually run Shred OS and maybe, you know, Linux Mint LMDE, so that we can do some testing on this damn thing and see if this thing actually works as intended. So that's the problem with having a 32-bit instruction set. I actually don't know if the one that I ordered is 64. I don't think it is, if I remember, but again, I ordered that shit like a month ago, so I haven't actually looked at it since I got it. So, but anyway, I have 2 gigs. That is the max for 32-bit, as you know. Should have enough memory at this point, I think, to load. You can see it's taken up probably about 200-ish, yeah, like 209 megs. It's probably 215, 216, so, and it panicked. Great. Shit. I might have to do this separately. I don't think Shadow OS can support a distribution that is this old, this hardware that's this old, unfortunately. Okay, so I was able to get Linux Mint to boot on this. This is LMDE 6, so pretty fairly recent version of Linux Mint. What we are going to do, though, is try to wipe it using DF or DD. So I think it's at, I think it should be mounted, hopefully. Yeah, both, I think it's IBM preload. Is this the full disk? Actually, notice there isn't any super key on this keyboard. So, makes sense. And we're gonna format this disk, which means we're gonna overwrite it. We're gonna overwrite with zeros, and we're gonna give it no partitioning, and we're gonna format it. And we're gonna format it. Okay. So, yeah, this CPU is struggling real hard right now. Anyway, I'll upgrade it once we do this. So while this thing decides to think, I've decided that I'm going to replace the hard drive. Now, this is an IDE hard drive, so you're probably wondering, employee Linux user, how are you going to replace this hard drive if they don't really make IDE hard drives anymore? Well, I went on eBay, did a little bit of research, and saw someone that was selling basically what was a SD to IDE adapter replacement for this type of laptop. It came in a chassis, and it had a little board attached to it. Now, I noticed that the chassis that it was in was 3D printed. And I didn't feel like paying the 20 to 25 bucks to get it shipped to me per unit. So I figured, I wonder if I can actually 3D print this chassis. So I reached out to a couple of friends. One of them had a 3D printer, and alas, I have the chassis. Then I went on Alibaba, or AliExpress, or whatever one I went on, and looked for the adapter that came with that post, and I have that as well. So, for the cost of about $6, I was able to actually make one of these myself and just have to glue this to the chassis. And what will happen is this will connect to the IDE adapter, and the SD card will go in here, and that should hopefully be a little bit faster than actually using the IDE hard drive. So that is what is going to replace the IDE hard drive that currently sits in this machine that I am wiping right now. So that'll be nice. I'm actually really interested in trying out this adapter.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Erasing device. There we go. Okay. 36 minutes remaining. Actually getting a decent 16 megabytes per second, which would be decent if this was a internet connection, but it's not. It's a disk, but hey. So I'll let this run until it either fails or it fully erases it. And then I will get working on getting this set up, and we'll install this into the side. Okay, so I did install the card onto the chassis. This is sort of just super glued in there. It's pretty firm. It does work. I did test it on my main PC, so it is able to read an SD card. So we're going to test it with the test SD card that I have, and install Linux Mint to that, and then we'll be able to do some more testing. after. So let's remove first this hard drive from here. I'm not gonna do this in the top-down cam because there's not much to it. So you're just gonna pop out. Looks like a bolt from the bottom. There we go. Okay, so there we go. It is a Fujitsu. What is the storage on this? A whopping 40 gigabytes. Focus, please. Yeah, a whopping 40 gigabytes. So I think this will fit. Yeah, this does actually fit quite nicely in here. You can see there are holes there for screws. So I think this will fit quite nicely on there. Let's see if it does. Okay, so then we should be able to just slide this bad boy in here. Let me actually pull this out. I might have actually put this on upside down. No. I did not. There we go. It's in. Okay. So it's also going to be a little bit lighter as well for you. So, because there is no hard drive in there. Okay. So let's put this bad boy up, and I'll get back to you when I am done installing Linux Mint.
Much later.
So it's a few days later, and I messed up. So when I was putting this on, I glued it on, and I shouldn't have glued it on. I actually glued it on upside down. So this should be facing the other way, because the chassis goes in this way, and as you can tell, the missing pin is not at the top, it is at the bottom. So this is effectively useless. I can try to get it off with some acetone, but I'm not gonna put that effort into it. I do have extras. You can see there's one there right now. I just need to get a chassis for it. But it does work. I was able to install LMDE to this, so we're gonna take off the keyboard. I did take off the trackpad and palm rest, and it looks pretty alright. There's nothing wrong with it on the inside here, so pretty good shape. We're going to take off the keyboard and replace the CPU and the inside memory. Okay, CPU is in. This is the replacement one. Not a whole lot of thermal paste on there. They did give me this, like, this salt and pepper packet of thermal grease, as if this goes on my French fries or something. But I'm not going to be using that. Maybe on my mashed potatoes. But I have my own. Alright, that'll blow out the fan. Fan looks pretty clean, to be honest with you. So pretty, you know, like this was actually kept in a relatively airtight location. Or I should say climate controlled. I mean, it was in the garage beneath other boxes, but you know, in some cases, that's about as good as you can get. So, okay, let's put this thing back in here. Actually, I forgot to put down the thermal paste. That's my bad. Okay, I have this Corsair thermal paste that I have lying around. It's a very small die, so you won't need that much. I will need like the size of the pen. Okay, so new CPU and new memory are installed. So I'm gonna do a quick boot up with this keyboard on here, and we're just gonna check and see that everything is working as intended and that it's able to be detected in the BIOS. Yeah, you're going to complain about the hard disk, which is fine. And then we're going to enter setup. And we're going to see, yep, so it is the Intel Pentium processor, 2.13 gigahertz, and it's detecting 2 gigabytes of RAM, so the upgrade went well. So now I'm just going to put this back together, and then we're going to go and actually do some testing in the operating system and make sure everything works. So I will see you guys in just a little bit.
The definition of insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change.
It's been a pretty long time, about 2 weeks actually, since I made that video, because I didn't realize that there was an issue with these adapters. Now, I had actually installed LMDE after when I made that video, but I actually hadn't, well, for that video I turned off the laptop. When I turned it back on, the partition table was completely wiped, and I thought it was something with the install, but it apparently was something with the actual adapter. I'll leave a video linked in the description to explain this problem and how to fix it. Shout out to the guy that made that though, because it really saved me, because I had no clue what was causing this issue. Apparently it's something to do with how this adapter treats boot sectors when it relates to Linux. If you install Windows to it, it works fine, but apparently with Linux it has a bit of a freakout. The solution is to create a dummy partition, FAT32, about 300 megabytes, as the very first partition, and the subsequent partitions can be your Linux install, and that seems to make the adapter behave nicely. So after about like 20 attempts at installing Linux on this thing, I finally have LMDE working, and we can finally test this damn machine, which has been haunting my dreams for about 2 weeks. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off. I also will mention that I did install the new CMOS battery while I was doing that. So the new CMOS is in, so let me see, I'm not gonna do this. So first thing I want to test is, well, I know the trackpad works fine because I've been doing installs for about 2 weeks, so we can cross off the trackpad needing to be checked out. I guess we can check the 2 buttons. Tap does work too, which is good. I was almost ready to give up and do a more modern ThinkPad that I have lying on the floor next to me, but we do definitely need a new battery though, that's 100%. I'm not even going to look at the battery condition, so I actually could look at the battery condition, but let's go get a new battery. It is a little slow. I think if you installed some like lighter operating system, if we do power CFG, oh no, fuck, what is it? Not power C, that's Windows. Okay, it's UPower I just looked it up. I had to look it up, unfortunately. Or UPower, is it UPower A? No? UPower L? Fuck, okay. Let's actually do some H, what is this? D, thank you. Okay, let's look at this. Okay. That 0, it is a Sanyo. It is currently 50% capacity. That's terrible. So we're gonna definitely get a new battery for this one. Okay, so I know the mouse works, or mouse buttons, I should say. Let's see if I can get mouse buttons going. Okay, left works, right click does work. Okay, middle click does work too. Okay, mouse does work. Let's just make sure that we're at, like, yep, left click works. All right, yeah, so it looks like the keyboard does work, which is good. Okay. We will test the sound next. I'll pull up a YouTube video. I'm not sure what that beeping is about. Maybe it's the battery. The spacebar seems a little bit touchy. I might want to try to reseat that. We'll see if I can... Okay, so the sound buttons at the top do work, and the sound does actually work fine. Cool. All right. So, now what do we gotta test? I gotta test the display. Display looks okay. There is a VGA out, which I will have to test shortly. There is, I guess we'll do the I/O. We know the internet works, the Wi-Fi does work. I can grab the Ethernet tester because there is an actual Ethernet cable on there now, so let me test the other I/O and I'll grab the stuff I need to actually test the rest of this damn machine. Okay, so there are two USBs on the left side. Let's see if they plug in. Cool, there it is. That one shows up. Let's see that it pops up there. Okay. Okay. Alright, there also is aux out. There's also an express card, which I don't know. I will say that if you do want to increase the speed on this machine, might be better to get a compact flash and the respective adapter for this, because they do sell IDE adapters for compact flash, and compact flash is significantly faster than SD cards. They're more expensive. I think this total setup cost me, for the SD card, this is a testing SD card, so it's not the permanent solution, but I think probably in total about like $25 for all three of the adapters and the SD card I'm using to test right now, so pretty cheap. If you're going to buy an adapter for compact flash, will run you probably about like $30-ish, maybe like 20 for, maybe close to 40, because it would be 20 for the adapter, maybe like 20-25 for the compact flash, so not bad. Okay, the Fedora DVD does read, expected. Let's work. Okay, so I have to test the aux out actually. Okay, grabbed some bootleg IEMs. Well, these are not IEMs, these are regular JBL earbuds I picked up. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to actually install LMDD to this or offer it as an install option. Might do like MX Linux, might do like Windows XP Gold as well. That's also an option. Can it detect my shitty mic? It can. Very nice. Does this thing have a built-in mic? It apparently does not, no. But it can detect my shitty built-in mic, looks like. I think. Yeah, it doesn't have any other input. Just my microphone. Okay, cool. So those inputs... Oh wait, what the it does have a microphone. Ha! Okay, I thought this was the one, but it does actually seem to have a microphone in there. I guess this shitty microphone thing doesn't work, or let's see if this actually now... Okay, I can't get line-in to work. I should probably get like a proper line-in mic, to be honest with you, but there is a microphone actually on this laptop. Actually, it's very hard to see. I thought it was originally in the top case, but if you look right over here, right up here, where these little two dots are, that is the microphone. So it does have a microphone. That microphone works. The line in is untested. Let me go grab the display and an Ethernet tester. All right, so we're back. Display does work. One of the weird things... My fucking tripod there. One of the weird things is that if I plug in the charger, I think there's some electrical interference going on between the charger I have and the VGA out. I'm not sure if that's an actual issue or if it's just a quirk of the charger that I have, but it causes some artifacting on the display. So I suspect if you do want to use an external display, you probably have to use a dock of some sort in order to supply power to the laptop. Though it could just be because I have a very cheap charger that I use for testing. But it looks like, according to this tester, things are working correctly from the Ethernet port. So, it looks like all the I/O does work, except for the line in, though I couldn't get that to work. I'm not sure if I tested that right anyway. It's Linux mid startup, but yeah, I think we're pretty much good. I don't think there is anything else that I need to replace on this machine, which is good. So what I'll do is get a larger SD card. This one I think is 32 gigabytes. I'll probably end up getting like a slightly faster one. Get new chassis for this, 3D printed, and probably that's it. Yeah, so a faster SD card, new chassis, and then I'll probably end up offering LMDE, probably Windows XP as well. Maybe Vista if it can run it, but I don't think this will be able to run Vista or 7. Probably XP. Or one of the multitude of XP variants like Bold or whatever. But we are done. There really isn't anything else much more to test. I mean, maybe we can probably test the fingerprint reader, but I really don't feel like getting into those weeds right now. Plus, I don't know if I can even... I probably could, but it would take me a little bit extra time to try to test the fingerprint reader, and I've already spent way too much time on this damn computer. So I guess I'll leave it here. Considering that I haven't fully tested this machine, I mean, I haven't tested the fingerprint reader, I'm unsure if the line-in works, and I'm also unsure of the expansion card slot. I am willing to sell this probably for like, let me see, just in total on cost, maybe like $60 at most for this thing. Per usual, I'll put this on sale on base.win and my eBay page when this goes live, and you'll be able to buy it from them. It'll have a couple of options for installs of operating systems. I'll probably end up doing like Windows XP, LMDE, and maybe like one other small 32-bit Linux distribution. And yeah, so that was refurbishing this T43. It was definitely a learning process for me. And oh shoot, I almost forgot, I need a new battery too. I almost forgot we need a new battery, so I'll order a new battery for it. But yeah, pretty much a learning process for me on how to handle these more older computers, but I did learn a decent amount, so hopefully my next run through with one of these bad boys should go a little smoother. But luckily I don't actually have one of these bad boys next time. We do have a bigger machine here. This, a T61. Yeah. This thing actually, I think this is a Lenovo ThinkPad, because it says the modern ThinkPad logo. Yeah, this is a Lenovo ThinkPad. So not the IBM ThinkPad, but it is more modern, so hopefully it'll be a lot easier time testing that thing. So thank you guys for watching. Again, I apologize for this taking so goddamn long, but we finally got this done, and I'm glad to finally get this over. And I guess the real ThinkPad were the lessons we learned along the way. Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense.